I became Bahá'í in September 2005. And it took me 2 years to go through the sequences of 7 books. My wonderful tutor, Sapa, made the classes so enjoyable that I couldn't wait for the next class. At the last day of book 7, Sapa asked me if I want to be a co-tutor with her for the book 1. I immediately knew that is the time to pay it forward. So I accepted. And we started the book 1 with the new believers, and now we are on the second book. I told Sapa, I feel like I'm not doing enough. She said, how about you help me through the children class? I told her I have no experience, but she said, don't worry about it, we'll do it together. Every time I mentioned something that I can't do it, she said, don't worry, we'll do it together. And it's been over 6 months that we are doing children classes together too. I also have my own Ruhi study circle at my place. It was my first time I was doing service by myself, without Sapa, which I called her as soon as the class was over, and as soon as she heard my voice, she said, you did it. And I was very happy.
Di ritorno da una conferenza, questo mio amico, questo ragazzo, mi ha parlato del circolo di studio. Io non avevo ben capito di che cosa si trattava, comunque insomma mi fidavo molto di questo mio amico, allora ho accettato la sua proposta. Al primo incontro del circolo di studio, questo mio amico ci si mise a sedere intorno al tavolino e lui tirò fuori un libro di preghiere. E io, un brivido mi scorse lungo la schiena, proprio per capire, io non ero assolutamente abituato a pregare, a parlare di spiritualità, di Dio, così apertamente. Le sue parole sono state, di solito noi iniziamo le nostre attività con una preghiera, no? E io, un po' spaventato, ho detto, va bene, ok, insomma. Allora ho cominciato a leggere le preghiere e abbiamo iniziato il circolo di studio. Avevo scoperto questa capacità di comunicare con Dio che prima non avevo mai sentito. Sono andato avanti con il circolo di studio e prima del termine ho deciso di dichiararmi. Avevo terminato la sequenza dei libri e tutte le persone che erano rimaste colpite dalla mia trasformazione mi hanno chiesto averne di più e con loro ho fatto la pratica del libro 7, ho aperto un mio primo circolo di studio che è andato avanti e ha avuto dei risvolti molto belli. Grazie.
The Institute process has also inspired a remarkable surge of artistic expression at the grassroots. This was reflected in a variety of moving and uplifting community performances presented at every conference.
Friends. When I got the email that they'd asked me to tell a story, the first line said, "Are you comfortable speaking in front of 3 or 4. I thought, oh yeah, 3 or 4 is good. Thousands of people. I was going through a corridor and we're wading through kids. And a kid runs up to me and says, oh, do you want to speak to my mom? And I'm like, yes I do. And so we started talking to his mom about a children's class. And right then and there, we were talking with all of the children and teaching them the song, We Are Drops. And it was very exciting because 2 nights later, I see this group of kids go to the laundromat. And I'm thinking, are those my kids? They look like my kids. And then they come out and start yelling at me, we are drops of one ocean. We are drops of one ocean. And I thought, they are. They absolutely are. When I started going to this neighborhood, I was uncomfortable with the neighborhood. I wasn't familiar with the neighborhood. But as we started serving there, as we started having our children's classes there, I understood what it was talking about. Blessed is the spot.
तो मैं जब यहाँ काकोरी क्लस्टर से कुछ लोग मिले और मुझे बताया कि ऐसे से ये बाहाई धर्म में कैसे क्या आया हुआ, तो मैं जब रूही 1, 2 किया और 3, उसके बाद 3 में मैं कर रही थी तो कुछ मित्र ने बताया कि ये बहुत अच्छा है, उत्साह मुझे दिया और अच्छी तरह से बताया कि किस किस तरह हमें बच्चों को क्लास चलाना चाहिए, कैसे कैसे क्या करना चाहिए। इस तरह मेरे अंदर भी उत्साह हुआ कि मैं कुछ करूं और मुझे कुछ भी अनुभव मिले और सीख मिले, क्योंकि बच्चों को भी सीख मिले, साथ में टीचरों को भी सीख मिलती है।
So we've learned that community building doesn't start from like a country or a city or a suburb, but it starts at the level of neighborhood. This children's class was held once a week, but there was something wasn't right about this children's class. So we sort of reflected and then we ensured that we were running exactly how Book 3 was set, and all the approaches, so not only just the lesson plans, but also following the progress of the children and working with the parents to make sure that we develop the spiritual qualities of these children together. We noticed that the nature of our conversations with the parents were changing as well. And what's happened is that now all the parents are actively involved and in going around inviting other parents, dispelling fears and explaining the nature of the class as well. One thing that we experienced is as we focus on the quality of the classes, the quantity grew. What we see now is that these children's classes are these centers of attraction. It actually has started to change these patterns of community life.
My son and my nephew started playing football in front of our house, and they had quite a number of friends, numbering about 10. So we decided, as a response to Book 3, to start children classes with their friends. We've been running this for 7 years, so we actually have junior youth, and we have about 15 of these children who have moved from children classes to junior youth. We also have had one person who just walked into the house one day and told us, oh, I've been seeing children coming to your house, and I want to know what they come to do. And he has gone through Ruhi Book 3 and is now a teacher in the class.
Our learning is that we can always look at the needs of the neighborhood. And then we can offer the service that complies with the needs of the neighborhood. We looked at our block of flats because there were many mothers with children. And there was this interest. We started a children class. We were a little bit scared. We didn't have any experience with children classes. We prepared small invitations and we visited or met mothers that are living in our block of flats. We invited them to a meeting where we explained what the children class will be about. We said we would learn prayers with children, we would sing songs, we would learn about qualities, talk about love of God, stories, games, and so on. And the mothers were very interested in such a program, and 8 children registered to our children class.